Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Let's have a look at this chart, shall we? It doesn't look particularly strong, I have to say. The weakness isn't yet sealed, but it probably will be soon. So we can come down a little bit further, but it does really look a little bit like we're going to curl back over again on this one and actually have another run down. So we didn't even make it up to the death cross retest, so we're unable to revisit your 200 simple and exponential. If we were to come up to that, even with that, you'd be expecting a pullback in the first instance anyway. It's the first time we've hit it basically since all the way over here, really. So at the moment, we've got one drive, regular bearish divergence, Monday Fly Index is trickling down. We're heading towards the Bollinger Band, so this is your last line in the sand, 91,718. If we can handle that, then fine. And we bounce from that. We've got 93. Then you got all the way up to 95, basically. But this is, and look, I mean, this looks big because it's because we're staring at a 4 hourly. But basically, this is the range that we'll be looking to move up into to get rejected from. Basically, so we're already in the rejection range to an extent, and so when we sort of just zoom out a little bit on the daily, you can see actually it's only really a small sort of range, to be honest with you. And then obviously if we zoom out even further on a weekly, it just becomes a little speck on the just a little speck on the chart. So that is where we are right now. So we are in the rejection box. Now the only thing that makes me feel slightly more optimistic about this, and again because it's a weekly anyway, it can definitely go down further and back up again and go all around. So I think, long story short, I think spot positions are still okay. Obviously, from lower areas, maybe not from this very moment in time right now. Remember, you don't want to buy a resistance. I was saying this on the Patreon on Wednesday. We were at resistance at the time, so you can't buy a resistance. We can assume that a resistance can break. We can look at evidence for resistances to break, but I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't buy a resistance, and that was Wednesday night, and we were sitting at 93,000, and basically we're more or less still there now. But holding on to spot, there will be a dead cat bounce that has bigger legs on it, but it might not be this one now. We might have to wait for the next one. So there is a realistic chance of another swoop down at this point. I don't know if it'll be a big fast crashing swoop down, to be honest with you. It might just be a trickle down, but unless we can reclaim this box that finishes around 95,000, it's all ripe for rejection, unfortunately. So what does that mean? Well, trade appropriately is all I can say. It's not for me to say long or for me to say short or anything like that. It's just trade appropriately. So look at Ethereum just very briefly, because Ethereum was looking a little bit better than Bitcoin on the short-term time frames. Fresh golden cross, so creeping above most moving averages. That's not dissimilar to Bitcoin anyway, to be honest with you, but it is a little bit better as we're getting rejected below Bollinger Bands here, whereas we are slightly above them over here. Again, it's just a 1 hourly. We're sort of looking for strength here, trying to find it. This one did move into the death cross, the 200 exponential moving average, so it has done that. So this is already at the death cross retest. So what you're looking at here is an ascending triangle formation, even in the Bollinger Band, basically. So you got your 20 moving average here, you got your 200 exponential here, and really what you're looking for is a break in one way or another. Support, resistance, breakdown. Breakdown from this one, your measured move would be from the mouth of the formation, roughly speaking. So this is good. And again, we're just talking about 4 hourly formations. That actually takes you down to the Bollinger Band itself, 2,800. And if you were to move that to the up, if you were to break, for instance, you're looking at, very close to the resistance. So it's all very appropriate, really. So 3,500, we'll call it, give or take. Cool. So that's your Ethereum, and it's not going to do anything on its own. It's going to require Bitcoin to lead the market. So to be honest, that's just a basic, brief overview of what it looks like at the moment. That's I suppose there's nothing much more to say about it than that. Obviously, there's a million altcoins out there. And we can look at those sort of things on the Patreon if you like. For me, it's been a bit of a no-trade morning. Just sit and wait, see if we break, and then maybe have a little scalp, but probably just continue to play Tony Hawks, to be honest with you. The trading environment, it's a downtrend still. So, I suppose, for me, a long is less likely today, to be honest with you, because we're at resistance, so it doesn't favour longs. And I'm not really into the short side of things, so yeah, again, I think it's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 day for me. Right, thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.